Carl Sagan could not have predicted 2021, but he did see it coming. He wrote the following back in 1995, and we quote, "I have a foreboding of an America in my children's or grandchildren's time when the United States is a service and information economy, when nearly all the manufacturing industries have slipped away to other countries, when awesome technological powers are in the hands of a very few, and no one representing the public interest can even grasp the issues, when the people have lost the ability to set their own agendas or knowledgeably question those in authority, when, clutching our crystals and nervously consulting our horoscopes, our critical faculties in decline, unable to distinguish between what feels good and what's true, we slide almost without noticing back into superstition and darkness. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media, the 30-second sound bites now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance." Roll that around for a while. Those were among his final published words. He died 10 months later. Here we are 25 years later, realizing just what he was trying to tell us back then.
But
war.
Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Even as these grainy satellite images released today by the Chinese government.
Again, the Malaysian flight too was one shot at China saying knock it out.
Why shoot it down though if it's not hostile?
Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space.
Why the Americans would?
They leave distance annihilated.
This country is very powerful. Far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world. Not even close.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should be his duty. And to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." I suppose we all thought that, one way or another.
Warp Factor 10, Mr. Sulu. Holy shit, chat. Game on. Game on. Dark Ashton is out, guys. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot to talk about. Lulu's in the house. Lulu's in the house right now as well, guys. Petting my dog here. Holy shit. I'm just going to throw it out there. We now definitely know what those orbs are in the MH370 video that everybody's been wondering about. It took several years to reach the confidence level high enough now that we can say that this is a levitated plasma fusion Z-pinch. They got a lot of names for this stuff, but it's basically exactly what I've been saying the whole time, which is it's a series of superconducting rings that are levitating in plasma, and they're a fusion reactor, and it's being used for propulsion in these little drone thingies the CIA's got going on. And guess what? Who wrote the first paper that made this famous, this concept? Edward Teller. Yes, as in Edward Teller of the Manhattan Project, the fusion bomb. As in the guy that knows all the secrets about everything.
All right, then, keep your secret.
Yeah, exactly, Frodo. They're keeping their secrets. This all goes back to nuclear weapons. You're looking at a thermonuclear weapon, a miniaturized thermonuclear weapon. I guess is how you could qualify it, or a WMD. This is probably why they renamed these things to WMDs, because how the hell can you even call this a nuke anymore? How can you even call this a nuke anymore? What the hell is going on here? You got wormhole technology that you're hiding from us? And if you have not been following along, I don't blame you. On Monday, I went over why that is 100% a CIA operation in that video. It's not Air Force. It is CIA, because those are Air Force assets using technology that was not yet publicly available through official military channels. And obviously, it's an operation from the context of what's going on. Gorgon Stair Increment 2. And the other one is a Litning G4 pod that had not even yet been integrated on the MQ-9 publicly yet. So, the other side of this is now we're just naming names. I told you, CIA, if you're watching, and I hope to hell you are watching, I told you we would find you. I told you we would find your secrets. And I'm not waiting around. No. In fact, we already named one of them, Frank Archibald. He was the operations director at the time that the plane disappeared, and he's dead now. He's like probably the guy that orchestrated the whole operation. If there is a James Bond, actually it would be more like a Steven Spielberg running the show, and they have a Q who gives them the technology next to them. Does anyone want to guess who that person's name is? So I just named one person that we already knew. Frank Archibald. Frank Archibald was the CIA operations director. This is generally classified. People don't even know who this position is. If you ask Grok, they'll say that this position is generally not publicly known who it is, but it gets revealed because people like book deals. Frank Archibald was the guy. 2013 through 2015. Who was his Q? Hooking him up with the Orb technology. Like, bro, we need to teleport an airplane. You got anything that can do that? Don't you worry. Dig into my bag of magical tricks. I got some plasma orbs for you, baby. And they run on fusion. That person, in fact, you know what? We are going to put you in a little suspense. Only for a few seconds. Here you go. This is them.
In order to ensure that the components that we needed, the capabilities that we needed, were being developed and then integrated to do things that most people didn't know we could do. And I've had the great blessing and privilege to be part of groups over my career that achieve things that most people didn't think were possible. I often said at CIA, we did the stuff Hollywood only dreamed about.
Oh, shit, chat. You are fucking kidding me. That is Glenn Gaffney. That is Glenn Gaffney, who George Knapp said, we need to get this guy to testify to Congress on the UFOs. Oh, no, you did not. Okay. This is where, you know what? This is where I say, guys, I tell you I'm just a normal guy. I think I saw a comment earlier like, Ashton, you kind of get unhinged on X sometimes. Bitch, if you're not getting unhinged right now, then you're not paying close enough attention. These people have wormhole technology. They're fucking covering it up. I just gave you some of the people, the names, and it turns out there's a bunch of UFO libtard alien lovers who are also either like sucking these other people off or working with them, or I don't know what's going on with their weird ass relationship. But they're not giving us the truth. I'll tell you that much. They're not giving us the truth, and they were never planning on giving us the truth. And they've all been blackballing me because clearly they know that I'm over the target. Turns out all this shit leads back to all them and all their buddies. So if you're upset that if I've hurt your feelings, that I'm crashing out on these people, get used to it. Get used to it. You ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. If you think it's bad now, wait until this shit starts to get proven to be real. I'm just going to clip everything that I've ever done and spam these people on social media nonstop until they cry. And it's not because of their incompetence, which is alarming, that they have not been able to figure this out. I would never put somebody down for their incompetence. No. It's because this is just straight up dishonesty. This is like, you must be dishonest at this point. You have to realize you're part of the system covering this up. We're looking at CIA MQ-9 Reaper drone, Gorgon Stare before that was even announced. Even though it was like a couple months later that Increment 2 was announced. Looking at this litany pod on an MQ-9 Reaper. That some of this information about these Reapers was only exposed through a CIA leak called the Drone Papers. We only know this stuff from other leaks. And now we've got Frank Archibald was working with this dude, Glenn Gaffney, at the time MH370. These were guys that sat side by side on operations. Their relationship was extremely close, just like in the James Bond movies. And you might say, Ashton, aren't you doing the conspiratard thing here? Maybe making some assumptions here? No. You want to know why? Because the person that took this person's job, you guys haven't been paying attention. Ashton Forbes is very good at his research, chat. Now that I know what these people are hiding and where I should be looking, this whole shit's coming undone. This whole thing is coming because you want to know why? There's not that many people. You think about something like this, a secret like this, it's highly compartmentalized, which means you go high enough to the top and you're going to find the people who know. You're going to find the people who know. And the only mistake I made, which isn't even a big mistake, was thinking that this was going to be on special operations, military special operations, which probably still could be. But no. This is CIA bullshit written all over it. CIA bullshit written all over it. And the cameras are what really is the giveaway. And you guys have to realize these CIA scumbags. Why are we doing live streams about these people? Because these people are calculating motherfuckers. They are calculating. They work in the shadows. The way the whole MH370 went down with the fire that nobody ever pinned it on the fire, and the way they made the plane disappear, and everybody's talking about pilots and stuff like that. This is all CIA bullshit. All CIA bullshit. So the person that took Glenn Gaffney's job after that is a woman named Dawn Merricks. I'm just going to say Merricks. Her name is hard as shit to pronounce. Let's just go with Merricks. Dawn Merricks. Don't worry. We're going to watch this in a minute. Here she is. Oh, chat. Here she is, chat. That's her. Wait. Hold on. Never forget, Ashton's very good at his research. Don't ever, if you are a liar, if you are a spook, this is why they don't have any social media, chat. Why are these spooks not on social media ever? Because any shit they say later on can be used against them, even after the fact. And the only reason why this woman did any interviews at all is because she had already retired from her job. I think it was 2021, 2015, 2016 to 2021. This is my favorite part. Now that we know what they did, and keep in mind, even though this woman took the role in 2016, she was probably like Glenn Gaffney's like right-hand woman. Watch this.
Things with planes, trains, and automobiles, absolutely. It is.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Do we do things with planes, trains, and automobiles? Absolutely. It is part of the job. And do we, enhance security in those things? Absolutely, if that's what we need to do. And people know about the SR-71 and some of the other things, the ox cart that was the predecessor. The agency does do bleeding edge, innovative platform work, and that's probably about all I can say about it here. I will say that they're generally used for technical collection purposes.
Sorry, did she just say the CIA was involved in the SR-71 Blackbird? Because that seems like what she just said. And said they can't talk about, seems like she's implying advanced technology integrated into aerospace operations. Am I missing something there? Seems like she's talking about advanced technology being integrated into aerospace operations. We talk about the SR-71 all the time in this context. And then she says it's also mostly about ISR, surveillance capabilities. Thank you very much, Dawn. I didn't know you were the number one threat in this world, greater than Al-Qaeda and ISIS combined, is middle-aged white liberal women. Holy shit. They have got to be the scariest people. This is the face of the devil. That's the face of the devil right there. There's no question. If you drown this woman, she would float, or whichever thing the witch is. I don't know. Drown, float, whatever it is. Absolutely no doubt. You do not realize you are looking into the face of evil. Pure evil. You want to know who are the people who are running these evil operations on civilian airliners that are calculating out how long the fire is going to burn while people are suffocating to death on the airplane while it gets to their target zone so they can zap it with some orbs, and then going home and watching whatever the shit liberals watch, Stephen Colbert at night, and laughing about Trump. There it is. That's the face. That's the face right there. This is going to give me nightmares. This is the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. You can't even make scary movies anymore that scare me like this. There you go. There's two people that are named. Now, I want to name somebody else here. Then we're going to switch topics briefly. Because this is some shit I can't even believe. People say, Ashton, you're defending pedos because you think that Epstein wasn't in a massive child trafficking scheme. Truthfully, I don't know what he was in, but the evidence doesn't point to that. But I will certainly talk about Epstein because there's a lot of crazy emails that were released in this leak, including this one right here. What the hell is this? And the other thing is people are not catching the ones that I think are the most significant, which are the ones that this guy, everybody's saying this guy's connected to intelligence. Okay, what intelligence is he gathering? He was an information broker. John Brennan gave me the CIA agency medal, the CIA's highest award this morning. How cool is that? Are you fucking kidding me? How is this not the front page of news? This is a CIA agent, officer. Which one do they hate being called? CIA agent. This is a CIA agent telling Jeffrey Epstein she got the highest award just now. This is the #1 CIA agent in the agency. Probably sucking off Epstein. You know what? I shouldn't say it. It might be defamatory. Might have been sucking off Jeffrey Epstein. Look at the time. January 2015. This is 9 months after MH370 disappeared. This is 9 months after MH370 disappeared. What are the odds that the employee of the year, CIA agent, knows about the #1 operation of the year, maybe the #1 operation of the century, maybe the #1 operation of the century? I would be surprised if there's any operations that rank higher than MH. I mean, they made a whole civilian airliner disappear and covered it up with Orbs and wormholed it. Fucking wormholed it. This is crazy to me. She might actually know about MH370. Because here's the point. The CIA did that, and people know, and only a select number of people are going to know about what we did to MH370. It's even possible Admiral William McRaven doesn't know, even though he was the SOCOM commander. It's possible he doesn't know. And it's possible someone like this does know. For sure, Frank Archibald knew. He's dead now. Glenn Gaffney almost certainly knows. And here's the point. Even if these people denied it, even if they were like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. MH370, what's that, an airplane? I've never heard of it. The thing that was talked about on CNN every single day for about 5 months straight. You don't remember that? Even if they said that, you could show the videos to them and be like, hey, man, what do you think about MQ-9 Reapers? What is this colory, weird, blue palette-y thing going on here? You just start asking them questions about it. Because they either have to answer truthfully based on their knowledge of knowing what those systems are, which they know, or they have to look like a complete asshole and be clearly lying. See, chat, this is why I say, just put me in the room with these people with a camera, live stream, full confession. Because it's not even about, you don't have to go in there and verbally abuse them and stuff like that. When you know if somebody's lying, you just have to ask the right questions. It's just about asking the right questions in a smart way. Okay. So, I explained now what the situation is at a high level. Now, I want to take a quick detour and chat about the alien situation, because everyone's backtracking on the alien situation now. Oh boy, is everyone backtracking. Trump's backtracking on it. He had a speech prepared. Honestly, it's the stupidest story of all. But here we go. We're going to cover it again because Trump made a statement. He got asked about aliens by some, I think it's a mainstream guy. I don't know. What's this guy? This guy's name looks like it's John. John something. Here we go. Okay, Trump. Tell us about the aliens, brother. Now everyone just wants something about aliens. Literally the dumbest shit ever.
Now, I was just struck in the last couple of weeks. We're reading more and more reports of Navy pilots seeing lots and lots of UFOs. Have you been briefed on that? What do you make of it?
I have. I think it's probably. I want them to think whatever they think. They do say. I mean, I've seen, and I've read, and I've heard, and I did have one very brief meeting on it. But people are saying they're seeing UFOs. Do I believe it? Not particularly.
Do you think you'd know if there were evidence of extraterrestrials?
Well, I think our great pilots would know.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is old, right?
And some of them really see things that are a little bit different than in the past. So we're going to see. But we'll watch it. You'll be the first to know.
Yeah, okay, that's why.
I was just struck in the last.
Sorry, guys. I got you baited. Hold on. What was the other thing? Wasn't there some other UFO thing? Never mind. Screw the UFO thing. Got a better thing than that. Oh, before we do that, sorry I'm not as organized here. I got a bunch of clips of my bookmarks for you guys. This is basically the face of these CIA spooks. Like, if I could just imagine a picture that personifies these CIA spooks and all their meddling and all their scheming and all their just corruption. Oh, well, that was going to be great. Here we go. Right there. Boom. There it is. This guy right here. Boom. Look at that. Oh, oh man. There it is. That's it. Chat. These people are basically the deep state Olympics, chat. The deep state Olympics is going on. That face right there, that's just the face of a scumbag. You can just tell when you look at it. And of course, it's some sport. I can you even call this a sport? They're throwing a rock on a piece of ice. And this guy's got to cheat at throwing a rock on a piece of ice. This is like an event for little children. And they all look like little children, honestly. But the fact that you're cheating in this sport, look at it. You can see him clearly touch the rock, right? Like, look at that. He's clearly touching it. You know, like, you get caught like this. Most people are like, you got me. You got me. And this guy, though, comes out and says, I never touched it. You never touched it. And it says, you're the real villain. You're the real villain for filming me. You're the real villain for having a camera to see me cheating, record me cheating. And the only reason why they're doing that is this dude's been caught on camera like a dozen times cheating. Like a dozen times. I watched a remix of all the times of him doing this. It's like, dude, just stop cheating, man. Anyone who's confused, the rules say you cannot touch the rock after it starts moving. Period. Nothing. Can't touch it at all. This is just actually like the CIA people. If you catch these CIA spooks, they're going to be like, it's your fault for catching on to us. We're charging you with revealing nuclear secrets, Ashton. Oh, you publicly exposed our whole MH370 operation. You're the real bad guy. You're putting our lives in danger. What are you kidding me? You're putting your lives in danger when you're running operations on civilian airliners and recording it. Sitting there recording it, drinking your champagne. Ooh, another successful teleportation. How delicious. Jesus, these people, man. I just can't. They anger me so, chat. Okay, enough fun. Oh, and one more. I was going to say this. And generally, chat, I don't support violence. I don't. I'm not a fighter unless I have to. But I hate streamers. I hate them all. I think it's the epitome of Carl Sagan with the dumbing down of America. Especially these streamers that just literally sit around and do absolutely nothing whatsoever, have no content. They have no topics they're discussing. Just literally like watch something on YouTube or literally just eat a sandwich. Like, okay, wow. But the ones I hate the most are the ones that are just constantly antagonizing people for no reason, for content. Antagonizing people because, hey, you can't touch me. I'm better than you. Blah, blah, blah. So I didn't even know who this dude is, and I still don't know who he is, actually. But I do know that I'm not losing any sleep over this happening to him, so here we go.
Seriously?
Oh, do that. Whoa. Oh. Nice to meet you, bro. You do know who I am. I don't know why you lying. Don't act like you don't know me.
I don't know you.
You definitely know me.
Nice to meet you, though.
Yeah, I just don't be lying because girls around and shit. You definitely know me, bro.
Bro.
Not even on some disrespectful shit, but.
Don't like your attitude. Don't like your fucking tone.
I don't like you at all, though.
Okay.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. Straight up.
What?
I said straight up.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you though.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the inside of the house.
I'll make you another clip. Don't do that.
Seriously?
Don't do that.
Whoa.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, that's enough violence for tonight, guys. But why do I post that? Not just the entertainment value. Because A, that's what passes as content in America today. Number two, what's my opinion on what just happened there? A, I don't know, why you're being so disrespectful to somebody in your party. If I'm having a party, I'm trying to greet everybody and be like friendly and courteous. Are you having a good time? Enjoy the party. Not like, hey, you don't know who I am? Stop lying. Stop lying saying you don't know who I am. Brother, nobody knows who the fuck you are. I've never heard of you. Nobody's ever heard of you before. That dude just probably rolled up to a party because he was with somebody. Your attitude is, you don't know who I am? You don't know who I am? Just stop playing. There's girls around. Stop pretending like you don't. What the fuck? What do you? That's how you think. People think that way. Chat, I don't think I was made for this world. Maybe I just wasn't made for this world and other human beings. You guys say I'm the same race as all these other, or the same, not race, obviously not, but you guys say I'm the same species as all of these other people, including the huge Brutus that just knocked that dude down in one blow. Because, I mean, obviously I don't condone what he did right there, but the man said he was going to attack him multiple times and then starts posturing towards him. So, I don't know. Can't really blame anyone on that front. Point being, we're cooked, chat. Give me the warp drives. Give me the wormholes. Get me the hell out of here ASAP. Now, let's focus on something that is more educational. Actually, one more thing. Okay, this is somewhere in the middle of educational, chat. You know, we are an educational stream. Here you go. Couldn't believe this. Real post from Donald Trump. One sec. You guys read that? Okay, cool. This is earlier today. I have been telling Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom that leases are no good when it comes to countries, and that he is making a big mistake by entering a 100-year lease with whoever it is that is claiming the right, title, or interest to Diego Garcia, strategically located in the Indian Ocean. Our relationship with the United Kingdom is a strong and powerful one, and it has been for many years. But Prime Minister Starmer is losing control of this important island by claims of entities never known of before. In our opinion, they are fictitious in nature. Okay, this is probably the most powerful statement Donald Trump has made about Diego Garcia to date. And guys, those of you out there who are doubting, guys, remember last time we spoke about Diego Garcia? I said, I'm taking the credit. I'm taking the credit, chat. I don't want to hear whining when the Diego Garcia deal goes through, chat. Hold on. Do I have it? I think I have the clip. I think I have the clip. What we do? They're all retarded in the government. It's a giant board. Giant visual. Here you go, dum-dums. Here you go, dum-dums. This is what we're talking about. Giant, put a big marker on it so you know what we're talking about. Diego Garcia, here's where it is in the world. Here's where China is so you understand how geography works.
If you're determined to divest the people of the United Kingdom of these islands, please sell them to the United States. I will sponsor a picture.
And he comes with a based-ass idea. He's like, hey, we'll just buy it instead. I don't know how much this shit is worth, but we can afford it. Chat. Anyway, you get the idea. We should buy Diego Garcia. If we buy Diego Garcia, not only am I taking the credit, I'm going to go full Laura Loomer. Guys, lots of people hate Laura Loomer because she goes off on people. But she's also right a lot of the time. So, some of y'all better hope to God we don't buy Diego Garcia, and I'm pushing for it 100%. I need you guys' help. We are going to save Diego Garcia. Chat, how many communities have saved a fucking country before? Saved a military base? None. None ever. None ever. We're going to be the first community ever to save an entire country. Holy shit. It might happen. Now, that's not even the best part. You ready for the next part of this? What the hell does this say right here? Should Iran decide not to make a deal, it may be necessary for the United States to use Diego Garcia and the airfield located in Fairford to eradicate a potential attack by a highly unstable and dangerous regime. An attack that would potentially be made on the United Kingdom as well as other friendly countries. Whoa. Whoa. Who uses words like that? It may be necessary for the United States to use Diego Garcia. What does that mean? Against Iran? Diego Garcia is an island, dude. It's a location. You can't use a location against another location. Wait a minute. Hold up. Maybe he's not talking about the physical location of Diego Garcia, but maybe he's talking about something we have at Diego Garcia that we keep maintained and stored at Diego Garcia. Perhaps some orb technology. Exactly. Please, 3 orbs in the chat, everybody. All I'm gonna say, chat, is if I was Iran, if I was the supreme leader, so-called, as they say, I would be shitting my so-called pants right now. I would be shitting my so-called pants. Please continue, Mr. President Trump. By the way, I have been disrespectful in not calling him President Trump. He's the president. He's got the orb technology. He kidnaps other presidents and makes them his bitch. Deserves the president respect on his name. Finishes it off by saying, Prime Minister Starmer should not lose control for any reason of Diego Garcia by entering a tenuous, at best, 100-year lease. This land should not be taken away from the UK, and if it is allowed to be, it will be a blight on our great ally. We will always be ready, willing, and able to fight for the UK, but they have to remain strong in the face of wokeism injected in my veins and other programs put before them. Do not give away Diego Garcia! Exclamation point. That is by far the most powerful statement that Trump has made about Diego Garcia. And I 100% agree. You guys say, Ashton, aren't you being hypocritical by saying that you are literally revealing nuclear weapons secrets? You are revealing the CIA's covert operation, but now you're also backing the authority in Trump? First of all, there's nobody I trust in politics more than Trump with this technology. Simple as that. Simple as that. Second of all, you all don't deserve this technology. I agree with the CIA spooks. What? I have more in common with them than I have with you all. I don't even feel like I'm the same species as you guys. So I agree with them. I'm just saying, here's a freebie for everybody. Here you go. Here's some orb technology. Here's some wormholes. Here's some super secret surveillance technologies that you guys should probably be aware of. By the way, if that's not good enough for you, they've also probably taken all that Palantir AI shit. They already got that too. Here's the rub. It's not Palantir that's doing all the spying. They're just giving all that technology to the CIA, and then they're doing it. Crazy chat. So, last thoughts on the Iran deal. because I like being more right than the other people. I'm going to call out Nick Fuentes here, but it's not specific to him. I just see him cheerleading this argument the most, is that we're about to enter war in Iran. The war in Iran's finally about to begin, chat. All of the woke right have been slamming this idea of the war in Iran. The war in Iran is going to begin. I don't even think these people have any concept of what the war in Iran is going to look like. They're sitting here thinking that the war in Iran is going to be like, that we're going to be drafting people and sending people to boots on the ground and occupy Iran, have peacekeepers on the ground, keeping people in line. No. The war in Iran, like Trump just pointed out, is we send Diego Garcia on you. We're going to Diego Garcia you, chat. We're going to turn Diego Garcia into a verb. I'm Diego Garcia up in this bitch. Because that's what, I guess we're just using code names now for all of our magical weapons. Discombobulators, Diego Garcian people. I guess this is the way we can get around the classified settings or the classified stuff. So we're just going to run a special operation. Like, if you want to know what's about to go down in Iran, it's not going to be boots on the ground. It's going to be a horrifying operation. Like, if you are one of the leaders, you're just going to die. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be black pill here, but you're cooked. You're cooked. Simple as that. Run. Start running. Run. Hide. Change your name. Change your gender. Cut your dick off. Whatever you got to do. You know, cut your beard off. Turn your hair blonde. It's going to be strategic. It'll be a strategic strike, and it'll be basically be against all of the leaders and also anybody that understands 0 point energy. So if you are somebody who's like a 0 point energy enthusiast and you've been messing around making fusion stuff in Iran, you're cooked, brother. Run. Seek amnesty in Russia or something. I don't know. Or pray for forgiveness. Maybe come here. Become our slave. Become our indigent servant scientist person. We got a lot of them. Again, if this upsets you guys, I'm sorry. It's reality. So, and if you disagree, here we go. I'll give you time. I told you guys we're doing some science tonight. This is the reality of the situation. Damn, this is a dope video. This is my favorite video, chat. You guys are going to appreciate this one. Wait, where is it? There it is. By the way. This is a Russian fusion bomb that's going off right now. Russian fusion bomb test 1955.
Мы наблюдали это с расстояния 70 километров.
We observed it from 70 kilometers.
Какое-то количество людей находилось
certain number of people
ближе
closer.
одного солдата.
One soldier was in the ditch,
засыпало
was buried with sand,
и один солдат погиб.
and one soldier died
В одном из близлежащих
in one of the nearby villages.
население было все выведено из зданий.
Look at that thing. This is a little village that's nearby. Absolutely crazy. So, why do I show that? Because we've had that technology since the 50s, since the 60s. This technology, this UFO technology, this alien technology, it's nuclear weapons. It's nuclear technology. When you boil our understanding of physics down to the really most basic thing, the root cause, as we would call it in IT, you get to the power of the atom. The atom itself, the most basic thing. And that is nuclear physics. That is nuclear physics. So whatever we've advanced from those bombs, from Andrei Sakharov, who believed in this idea of an extra dimension, the 0 point energy, or Ferris Williams, who also believed the same thing. Keep in mind, our best nuclear physicists, both in Russia and in the United States, all believed in an extra dimension, all believed in 0-point energy. Interesting. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So we have advanced these weapons and we've miniaturized these fusion weapons. So we're going to use tactical strikes. Also, the other thing, too, is people ask about, they say, Ashton, why did we do it on this plane? And I say, well, we did this because it was a message to China or Russia. And they say, well, why break out this weapon, though? We don't need to use this weapon to do that. Yeah, well, if we want to send a message, we do. And what's happening is this is now 12 years later. So technology is getting even more and more advanced. Those older technologies are getting older and older. It's hard to say that wormhole is an older technology. But as the technology become publicly known, then we start to use them more and more. We only break out these rare technologies in these extreme situations. So they're not going to break the orbs out unless someone shoots a nuke at us, for example. But we're going to start breaking out and seeing some of the discombobulator technology that has the same fundamental physics roots, which is why it's classified. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. So how is this work from the perspective of this extra dimension? People want to understand the concept of it. And if you really boil it down, this is what I would tell people, especially if you're a new person, says, Ashton, how can this physics be real? Because the answer is it's hiding in plain sight. All of these aspects of physics that we don't understand, all of them, they're all explained by this unified understanding of physics, this extra dimension, this 0-point energy. All of them are explained. Everything is explained. It has to be. When people say a unified view of physics must explain everything we don't understand, exactly. Here's a great example of it. Resonance. Sound is, I hope I'm saying this right. Sound is not thought to be a mechanical wave. You can't do work with sound. Now, that's wrong. You can. And this understanding, if you apply what I'm about to show you to nuclear weapons, you could see how, you could imagine how extra energy might appear that you weren't considering before. If I have a big boom go off here, right in the middle, I would say, okay, all the energy is this big boom. But what if this big boom affects something over here that now also goes off? Oh, well, if that's the case, then I have to include this energy in with this. Oh, okay, here you go. Oops. Resonance, or yeah. Oh, that is 0. So there you go, chat. You can see this resonance experiment. When you look at resonance, and this was the same thing we looked at with this spontaneously clapping, is that things have a tendency in the universe to align together. And when something starts to vibrate, this will start to vibrate at the same frequency suddenly. And you would say, well, why is that happening? That's weird. But only at certain frequencies are you going to see that behavior. So what this would mean is that there could be a resonance condition hitting a certain point where all of a sudden you see this amplification of additional energy. Oh, you hit this specific resonance frequency, and now you're seeing this additional energy just bursting out. Because when you are exploding your bomb or what have you, you're impacting the area, the stuff that's in that region. So one more clip I'll play with respect to the resonance, because I think this is a cool one to visualize it.
This is an audience in Budapest applauding after a performance. But what happens next is completely spontaneous. They're not being instructed by anyone. See if you can spot the phase transition.
When you say, what is a phase transition? There it is. Ready? Here you go. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. But you would say, isn't it weird? How does that happen? That just randomly happens. Those people weren't coordinating, but they kind of just are automatically. And you would see this at any event you go to. When they start doing music, what have you, everyone just starts getting synchronization right away. It's pretty cool. And then what does that do? Well, it amplifies the effect, makes it louder for everybody to be able to hear it. Coherence versus decoherence. These effects are really natural, universal. Let's see what else I got for you guys. I had a bunch of clips for you guys today. So this woman who Kathy, actually, no, we'll come back to that Kathy woman. I got something else to say about her. More science chat. Let's talk about teleportation chat. Because the other question people ask, how does the teleportation work? I mean, it seems like sci-fi. Admittedly, chat, it seems like sci-fi to me too. In fact, I haven't been idly waiting around to be told how teleportation works. I've been researching every single kind of teleportation that exists. And the reality of the situation is a lot of them kind of overlap with each other. Some of them are just conceptual frameworks. Other ones are actual physical frameworks for how to actually do something. So the answer that I would give you is I would say that teleportation, as we understand it, is a wormhole. Wormhole is teleportation. The object is not being turned into particles and disassembled and put back together. You're just going from one location to the next. Space-time itself is, imagine, deforming, if you want to visualize it, although it's imaginary. It uses electromagnetism, so it functions identically to a magnetic wormhole that they can produce on 2 dimensions, which makes the magnetic fields literally jump a gap. And on top of that, it is also quantum macroscopic tunneling. Because the idea is the 0-point energy, the space-time itself, which we see as distance, is the barrier that the object is tunneling through instantaneously, which is analogous to quantum tunneling at the electron level, scaled up electron tunneling. In fact, what the orbs are doing to MH370, I think, is they're doing nothing to it. You're like, wait, Ashton, what? What do you mean they're doing nothing to MH370? That's the point. They're making a bubble around MH370, which treats that area like a large electron. And then that area, that electron, can now tunnel through the barrier of space-time. And when it does that, it dissipates on the other side, and whatever was inside there is now coming out. I think it's something like that, but not quite exactly. The only holdup I have, there's one holdup. How does it only move the airplane? Like, it seems like it just grabs the shell of the airplane and everything around it and not the clouds as well. Because otherwise everything would kind of, like, I would imagine, implode in. It doesn't. So that's the part I still haven't quite figured out, but I know there's an explanation. Now, here is a smart physics guy that's explaining this concept for us. I think he did a good job, so here we go. Are you guys not hearing it? Oh, you guys can hear it? Okay, hold on.
To do it
All right, one sec.
is by just measuring.
My bad, chat. Okay, we're going to replay this. Before I replay this, let me explain the situation. Yeah, I had it muted. My bad. I do also think that it is four-wave mixing phase conjugation. So what they are doing is there's this weird thing with waves where you can mix the waves together and then it produces another wave in a different direction. So I think the reason why the orbs are doing that is not only are they turning it into an electron, but they're essentially transmitting a signal. And that signal has to be received on the other side. Has to be received on the other side to determine where it's going to go. So here you go. I needed to explain that. Gives you more context to this. Here we go. We're going to play it again for you guys.
Asked to explain quantum teleportation in just a few minutes. A photon is a particle of light, and a photon has a property which you may be familiar with called polarization. So when you wear polarized sunglasses, those sunglasses are blocking out the horizontal polarization that comes from glare, and they only admit the vertical polarization. Suppose you have a scenario where you want to get, say, the polarization state of a photon from one location to some other location, say from Alice over here to Bob over there. One way you can't do it is by just measuring the polarization and then broadcasting to everywhere what your answer was. Another thing you can't do with a single photon.
I'm gonna let you finish, but that was really big. So when you look at this, how does teleportation work? I don't know, but I know it has to obey the laws of physics. This is why I love listening to physics and physicists, because once you know the answer, once you know teleportation is really like, okay, how does it work? You've got all these rules and limitations over how you're telling me physics works in the real world. But there are loopholes. Oh, there are loopholes. And he's saying right here, you can't just measure it and broadcast it to the world. So what he's saying is you can't do Star Trek teleportation. You can't dematerialize the thing and just beam it out to the world and somebody pick up the message. He's essentially saying you have to have 2 points connected. You have to have your message and transmit your message over here. Wow.
Do with a single photon is make a copy of it. Quantum teleportation is a way to get that quantum state to Bob, even if you don't know where he is. Now, the way you have to do it is Alice and Bob have to be together at some point in the past, and they have to share a special quantum resource. And then wherever they go from there, at least in principle, they carry that resource with them. It's a way of getting quantum information like this photon polarization from one location to another, and it never actually traverses the intervening space. That's what quantum teleportation is.
That's exactly what they're doing to MH370. That's what they're fucking doing to the plane, chat. The question is, much like what is negative energy, what is the quantum entanglement resource? How do they connect the orbs together? So what he says there is you have this entanglement. You can imagine what they do with light is you have light gets split into two, and then it goes down two paths. On the macroscopic level, that would be the idea of having two orbs that are like counter-rotating, that are just moving at like opposite like this. But they might not even have to be in sync in order to be entangled. Like one might not have to be moving the opposite of the other. I don't even know what the limitations are in that. The only limitation that I think we're confident on saying is that you can't teleport to the past from the sci-fi movie perspective. I think Sal's going to disagree with me on this on Sunday. But by the way, we're doing a live stream on Sunday with Salvatore Pais. So we're going to talk about a lot of this. So I'm going to press him on that. I don't agree. I don't think you can go to the past. But you can teleport. Because like he says, as long as you can move your object any distance apart, and now you can teleport. And he also showed what was that? Psi symbol? I forget my Greek letters there or whatever. But the waveform symbol he shows. And that waveform symbol, I think, is solving the Schrodinger equation. Solving the Schrodinger equation of the probability of where your object is. So these guys, these CIA spooks, they have been accumulating knowledge, accumulating wisdom. This just reminded me of a really good clip. I think I have. Please have this clip. Please. No, I don't have it. Damn it. There's a Cat Williams clip that he says he's accumulating knowledge. I'll take those secrets. I'll buy that knowledge. This is what the CIA has been doing. And they have got quantum technology way beyond anything the public is even ready to even understand and accept. And this is where Jeffrey Epstein having a very close connection to the CIA's top dog who's getting the #1 prize, bragging about it to him in public emails. That shit's crazy to me, especially knowing that Jeffrey Epstein was super interested in gravity research, which is what this all boils down to. Okay. Let's see. I think that's... Oh, okay. Now let's get to the main event. The main science. Actually, you know what? You wanted to... This guy, I think, is the closest. A lot of you guys are close. A lot of you people say, hey, Ashton, I have the answer. I have the secret. Yeah, a lot of you guys are right. In fact, we're already to the point where if you give AI the right assumptions, it's going to spit out the right answer for you already right now, which is why I think they're so afraid of this disclosure, because most people don't even realize they have the resources right in front of them right now to figure out the answers, because everybody's just looking for someone else to tell them what to think. So here's a good example of how I think is a pretty good how the orbs are really operating. What this person did was exactly what I asked you guys to do. I said, let's Shia LaBeouf this shit. Shia LaBeouf it. Shia LaBeouf that shit out. And so he said, oh, I'm going to figure out roughly how far the orbs are from the plane, figure out what their radius is, plug this into Grok, and see what it spits out. So let's give my man some credit here. Ruthless Redleg. I mean, I should probably follow him back. Yeah, okay. At Redleg CULOUS. Here you go. The significance lies in how this could do constructive interference and energy amplification at 3.455 megahertz, commonly associated with long-range communication. The orbs would act as pump waves to condition the vacuum, depositing non-ionizing radiation, microwaves. Okay, this pay very close attention here, chat. The orbs are going to get non-ionizing radiation. We're going to get plasma using microwaves to push out the 0-point energy fluctuations. This will produce negative energy density. So you wonder, what is the negative energy density? Take your nuke, take your fusion bomb, boom, it pushes away the 0-point energy. It creates a black hole very temporarily because the universe closes it back up right away. This is why they figured this out in nuclear weapons. I'm sure they did. Sure they did. When they were doing fusion bombs, they had some calculators, instruments out there. They figured out that it was manipulating space-time. And then it was just a matter of, oh, how do we optimize it for the space-time manipulation? That's been the secret they've been hiding. Suck my dick, CIA, by the way. So it says this resonant condition, this resonant spacing would allow the electromagnetic field to build up to an extreme level, breaking the Schwinger limit, where the field becomes nonlinear, potentially generating gravitational waves. This would result in a wormhole or a bubble, a macroscopic quantum decoherence on the aircraft, reducing its inertial mass to zero, enabling non-local relocation, which we call teleportation, via phase conjugation, where the fourth orb is unseen, mirrors the wave back to its origin point. This aligns with Salvatore Pais. Oh, I forgot. I missed the first page. This was the first page. Okay, so assuming they're 86.7 meters apart, this would create a resonant electromagnetic field. So if you do this calculation, here you go. In this scenario, the orbs, often described as hypersonic drones encased in plasma, utilizing 0-point energy or room temperature superconductivity, will be positioned in an equilateral triangle to form a mixed wave interferometry system. There it is. Mixed wave interferometry. Go Google it. We're not going to go over mixed wave interferometry right now, but that's essentially it. Your orbs are in a perfect equilateral triangle because this creates mixed wave interferometry, shoots a beam in a direction, and you have the other orb in another direction. This is how you're connecting them together. This is why the orbs are spinning around the plane in a vertical fashion. They're pointing the direction of their transmission beam. Because just like that quantum mechanics science guy said, you can't just beam it out any direction. You got to have 2 points connected. Okay, the more you know, Chad. Now, pay attention to what I just said. Because here you go. Full-on science knowledge for my high IQ futurists. New breakthrough. New in air quotes, chat. New in air quotes for us. Scientists just pulled off something wild. They managed to trap super hot plasma using a magnet that literally floats midair. Researchers at Open Star Technologies in New Zealand built a device called a Junior Levitated Dipole experiment, where a powerful superconducting ring magnet is suspended inside a huge vacuum chamber with zero physical supports. The magnet produces extremely strong fields, 5.6 Tesla, inside a chamber over 5 meters wide. Second generation high temperature superconductors, Rebco superconductors, which are stronger and more efficient than older technologies. Then they use microwave heating. What did we just say about microwave heating? Non-ionizing radiation, aka microwaves, to make the plasma. Interesting. They use microwave heating to turn the gas into plasma, reaching hundreds of thousands of degrees, successfully producing plasma in 2024. Because the magnet is levitating, nothing touches the plasma or disturbs the magnetic field, so the particles stay trapped more efficiently. It basically mimics how Earth's magnetic field holds charged particles in space. Holy shit. Whoa. If this idea scales up, it could lead to simpler and more stable fusion reactors, meaning clean energy generated the same way stars produce power. This shows a completely different fusion approach that might actually work. Humanity inching towards unlimited energy instead of just arguing about energy bills. Look at the image. Look at the image. It's just a ring magnet sitting in a poloidal magnetic field, which is the way the Earth looks, with plasma all around it. And the plasma doesn't touch the magnet, which is all the conditions that are required for fusion. In fact, we're looking at the technology in the MH370 video orbs. This is it. Because this is also known as a Z-pinch. It's also known as a Z-pinch. And you may say, Asher, what about dense plasma focus? Yeah, sure. The dense plasma focus has to do with how dense you can get the plasma in that configuration. The only difference is it's not just one magnet. Look at the size of that. It looks all fat like this, right? With your magnet in the middle. Imagine if you had multiple rings. Imagine if you had your rings and you stack them side by side like this. Now your plasma is going to form a giant bubble, just like the Earth. And you're going to have two axial jets. Like I said, just like taking the Earth, turning it on its side, and now you've got your jets. That is exactly it. And when I read this, I said, this reminds me of something. This reminds me of a paper that I remember reading that we made a huge deal about just a few weeks ago. I was like, wait, wasn't there something about dipoles in something that we were looking at fusion? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Space propulsion by fusion in a magnetic dipole. Edward Teller. He's the one that started all this. So for the doubters, for the people that say, no, there's no way that they have fusion propulsion. It turns out the thing that I'm saying that it is the same thing that Edward Teller, the father of the fusion bomb, was promoting in 1992. That, by the way, the paper we just read, I'll pull it up. We're gonna take a look at it. It references them. Where is it? Okay, let me just share. I got so many screens going on here. We'll just share the whole deal. Where are they? Huh, weird. I can't get it to share correctly. Okay, maybe this one. Oh, this is a different one. Okay, well, whatever. We're going to look at this one first. So I started digging around. I'm looking up levitated dipole, and I found another one that was interesting. You ready for this? It says, this is Princeton University. Princeton Satellite Systems. Levitated dipole fusion for space propulsion analysis 2025. While in the process of writing new scripts to simulate various fusion propulsion approaches, I decided to make a blog post on levitated dipole fusion reactor as a fusion rocket. The code I made implements the analysis in the paper written by the famous Edward Teller, known for his work in the Manhattan Project. The levitated dipole is a high beta configuration. Yes, chat. I love being right, chat. I love being right. Boom! Gotcha, bitch. We were wrong with field reverse configuration. Field reverse configuration was them trying to figure out how they can turn it into a reactor that's sitting still in an efficient way. They already had it figured out, flying around in vehicles, zooming throughout the sky. Turns out, this is the deal right here, because they have high beta. It turns out high beta of 1, is the secret sauce, and multiple different ways can accommodate it, meaning it can handle a larger plasma pressure for a given magnetic field, enabling high temperature operation with modest magnets. So the key here is those 5 Tesla magnets that they were talking about, those might be enough to make this work. Exactly, chat. Who just said it?
Ashton Forbes, you know, that super jacked guy?
That super jacked guy, chat. Those magnets can make it work. See, it says, like the field reverse configuration on which we conduct research. So this is actually super similar to field reverse configuration. We fucking got it. Honestly, chat, I don't want to be too egotistical, but I kind of feel like an expert now. I kind of feel like an expert on fusion now. Like, this is it. 100%. I'm sure of it. I'm as sure of this as I am of the Edward Lynn thing. We've got the systems. We've got the fusion orbs figured out. We've got the guy who leaked this figured out. And just like that last thing said, what was the breakthrough for this? Publicly, what was the breakthrough? New superconducting magnets. What were the new superconducting magnets in the 90s, chat? Who knows? YBCO superconductors that Ning Li was working on for anti-gravity. What is anti-gravity? Oh, how about making a fucking magnet levitate? How about making your magnet levitate in your plasma? This is why it's levitating. It's anti-gravity. It's anti-gravity because you got a superconducting magnet, which, by the way, last time I checked chat, magnets are kind of heavy. Last magnet I touched was heavy as shit. So how the hell is your magnet just levitating, BTW, in the air? Those people in their experiments said their magnet's levitating in a vacuum chamber. Hello? Gravity. Yeah, does gravity still exist, chat? I'm just checking. Hold on. Let's go to another article. So that one right there, I mean, that was just a Yahtzee moment in and of itself. Here's the paper from those guys that I was sharing before. I finally found it. Here it is. So this is the one, design of the initial results of the junior levitated dipole experiment. This is brand new, right? Wait, what's the year is it? What day is this? Yeah, February 2026. Brand new, chat. Brand new, chat. So if you doubt that we're ahead of the game, we're literally years ahead of these people who are like probably all PhD experts in their field. We're years ahead of them. OpenStar is a private fusion company exploring the levitated dipole concept for commercial fusion. So the funny part, you saw how I had fusion searched? First thing I did when I got to open this up, I didn't even start reading it. I was like, are they talking about fusion here? Of course they are. Of course they're talking about fusion. They've manufactured a new generation of levitated dipole experiment, leveraging recent advances made in high-temperature superconducting magnet technologies. 5.6 Tesla. This experiment integrates novel high-temperature superconductor power supply technology as well. On board the dipole magnet. Wait. What the fuck does this mean? I'm writing this down. I'm writing that down. Holy shit. We're chat. CIA, you should have killed me. Look, let's just be real with each other, CIA. You should have killed me. I'd have killed me. 10 times over. You're dumb. Dumb as shit not to kill me. I told you I was going to find out everything. I told you I was going to find out who you all are. I told you I was going to find out about your technologies. And the one thing I've been wondering this whole time, where are they storing all this power on these orbs? Where are the capacitor banks in these orbs? So you've got some magnets in there. Great. How is it charging up energy? How is that enough energy to do any of the things that it's doing? There has to be some capacity. Is it just storing it in the plasma? I don't really get how that all works. And right there, it said it. Importantly, this experiment integrates novel high-temperature superconductor power supply technology. What does that mean? On board, it says. On board. Because you're thinking, oh, well, it's just plugged in somewhere. Nope. It's on board the dipole magnet. The power supply is somehow in the magnet, in the skin of the magnet or something like that. So those orbs are literally the fusion reactor I'm describing, and everything they need to make them work is built into a device that's probably like a tube with rings that are just connected. And there's maybe like something like built into the skin of it. Lockheed, BTW. I know these are your orbs, Lockheed. Let's just be real with each other. Charles, I know you're out there. We know these are your orbs. I'm stealing your technology. We're making it public. I'm like the Robin Hood out here. Okay, one more. Here's the normie paper. So this is like when you guys go to dinner and talk to your like normie friends. This is the article they'll have read. You'll have seen like the scientific paper and everything, but they'll have read like the pop science article, right? Is that what this is? Popular science or something like that? Interesting engineering. World's first plasma confinement via levitated magnet achieved to unlock nuclear fusion. 0.5 ton superconducting magnet, chat. It's half of a ton. It's 1,000 pounds. A ton is still 2,000 pounds, right? Is that how we still measure tons? Chat, how do the metric system work? It's 1,000 kilograms. Yeah, so it is roughly 1,100 pounds. They're levitating a 1,100 pound magnet. Okay. I was worried that the device inside the orbs was going to have to be like 50 pounds. But if you're telling me we got normie jank things that are 1,000 pounds that they can levitate, yeah, okay. No problem. I thought this was going to be a problem. Turns out not going to be a problem at all. Turns out if these things can be 1,000 pounds and still float around like a balloon, then we're in good shape. They got this thing covered. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. They heated it to 1,000,000 degrees Celsius. Now, this is interesting. We need, what is it we need? About 100 million degrees, I think is what we have to hit for fusion, somewhere around that ballpark. So we're still a way off with this, but you realize this is the part people ask, like, how close are they with this? How do you even judge how close they are? Look at it like this. Why is high beta so important? Because this is all about how dense you can compress the plasma. That's what it's all about. You have this amount of plasma. If I can condense it down here, it's going to be a lot hotter. There's going to be more fusion happening. One of the ways, the easiest way that we do this is like the same way we do with a fire hydrant. You make a nozzle on the hose, and now it spits out faster out of the hose. So we are trying to compress down our stuff. So what we want to do is we want to compress it more and more. So if they can get 1,000,000 degrees Celsius with like this much pressure, then if they can press it down this much, which theoretically they have no problem being able to do, then they're easily going to hit the temperature requirements. Easily going to hit them. It's not a matter of this point of if, it's just a matter of when. Just a matter of when. That's the reason why you're seeing all of this investment in the fusion companies, why you're seeing Microsoft and Google and all these other huge companies signing deals with these people, because they already know it works. Nobody's doubting it. The science is proven. The only question now is how soon? How soon until you have something that's going to be on the grid? Okay. Let's see what else I got here. Okay. Let's go back. Oh, one more thing. Here you go. Here's an image of the dipole fusion, because I'm trying to find good images to use for social media. And there's so few. When you look up a lot of these concepts, they never have the plasma set up in a way that makes sense. Like even when you look up dipole fusion propulsion, there's no plasma around any of these things. This is not what it looks like. If you were to look at this, it's not going to look like that. It's going to look like a bubble of plasma with a poloidal shape. So this, though, does kind of explain it. This is the best image right here. So for you, all of you, I'll make it nice and big for you. This one here where you see these two bubbles, and then there's a line going right through it. That is like taking your Earth, turning it on its side. And so you're going to have this bubble of plasma going around each side. That's what a poloidal magnetic field will look like. There you go. And it is actually very, very similar to reverse field configuration. Reverse field configuration is very similar to this. So that's probably why there's a connection to that. What else do I have for you? Now let's take a look at some more of these spies, chat. Now that we've explained this levitated dipole goes back to Edward Teller. This is all nuclear weapon secrets. In fact, I think somebody's got to be in meetings at this point, wondering when does Ashton cross the line where we have to finally send him a letter and say, you know, if you keep talking about this, you might be breaking the law. But we can't say more than that. They'll probably send me a vague letter that's like, where this isn't a threat, but if you keep talking about this, you could put yourself at risk for criminal action in the future. That's probably how it would play out if they actually sent me something. Okay, let's start with this spy lady that's like, I don't know, maybe she had some relationship with Epstein, sketchy relationship. Kathy Rumler, or whatever her name is, attorney and former White House counsel. Now, if I have to guess as somebody who knows about MH370, it's probably going to be a CIA that was good buddies with Jeffrey Epstein that won the CIA Agent of the Year award, highest praise ever, that also was legal counsel for the president in the White House for Obama when he was drone striking innocent people ambiguously. And then where do you guys think she went after that, chat? Where do CIA spooks that, help justify extremely morally questionable operations, where do they go? Scroll down a little bit. How Kathy Rumler and Goldman Sachs finally reached, don't leave me in suspense, finally reached their breaking point. You are kidding me. She went and worked for Goldman Sachs? Of course she did. Of course she did. So basically, she's now resigned. I hope I enjoyed the day with you with your Trump one. So she had a weird relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, and I think she just got fired from her Goldman Sachs job or something like that. Yeah. Joined Goldman Sachs in 2020, chief legal officer. She was the chief legal officer for Goldman Sachs. Hold up. And then the Jeffrey Epstein documents come out and she quits her job. She gets fired and pushed out immediately. Come on, man. Y'all, people are coming at me going, you're covering up for pedos and they're eating children. They're turning them into jerky and shit. And I'm sitting here going, we need a better brand of conspiratard. We need a better brand of conspiracy, high IQ, skeptic conspiracy theorist. Because this is where people should be looking. This woman's got deep state written all over her. In fact, she's going on my list because I'm going to do the thing that I said I was going to do all along. I'm going to make one of those webs of all these spook pieces of shit, all of them, and put them all on there, look through their history, everything they've done. Because here's the thing, just like with the technology, like that dipole stuff just hiding in the open, these people's skeletons are in the open too. Look how quick that woman just quit. She was the chief legal officer for Goldman Sachs. Some emails come out connected to Jeffrey Epstein. She immediately quits. Didn't even try to fight for your job. Must have some skeletons in that closet. So I'm not saying that she was necessarily responsible for MH370, but I'm saying that I would be really surprised if she doesn't know about some orbs. How much do you think they pay her at Goldman Sachs, chat? How much do you think the chief legal officer gets paid at Goldman Sachs? I'm going to Google it. Chief legal officer make. How much? 16 million. She made 16 million in 20. I mean, this is public knowledge. 16 million in 2023. 22.5 million in 2024. What do you get when you commit a covert operation and teleport an airliner? You get a job that pays you $17 million. You get paid like LeBron fucking James. Not quite, but I'm dating myself. You get the point. You get paid like you get paid like an OnlyFans whore. You're like Sophia Rain. She's like Sophia Rain of the CIA. And these people are literally, they're whores, just different kind of whores. They're like, I'm telling you guys, literally middle-aged woke white women are the #1 threat to all of humanity, period. And it's not even close. Not even close. So here's the other woman that we were talking about before. I don't even know what this woman's, I'm scared to even look at what this woman's doing now. But this was the technology and science directorate woman, Dawn Meyerichs. Can someone just have a normal name that's easy for me to pronounce? I'll admit my own deficiency. You guys are going to make me go full Candace Owens here. But at least it's some crazy name that like nobody can pronounce this. As an independent director and board member of government and commercial technological leader, Dawn brings more than 40 years experience pioneering new products and services and leading transformation for iconic brands around the world, including the CIA, AOL, and the DoD. She's a recognized expert in delivering entrepreneurial technological capabilities and processes to international markets, leveraging unparalleled stakeholder acumen into strategy, development, integration, and operations. Dawn's multi-industry experience dealing with international startups through blah, 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 don't care. From 2014 to 2021, Dawn led the iconic CIA Directorate of Science and Technology, directing the organization's first restructure in the fabled 57-year history, defining and delivering global capabilities beyond state-of-the-art, even in the midst of significant workforce, societal, and harsh conditions. Okay, so prior to this, what was her job prior to that? Dawn redefined technical oversight for the intelligence community while serving as the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Wait. Oh, she was in the DNI? Yeah, okay, she knows. Yeah, so because the other role that knows is DNI, Director of National Intelligence. Those are the positions that are going to know. So, and of course, she served on the National Security Agency Advisory Board for over a decade. So, I mean, you want to know who are the gatekeepers that are hiding this technology from you? Look her in the eyes, chat. Look her right in the eyes. The face of evil is not a mustache twirling villain who's coming to kill your children. It's a middle-aged white woman who will go to sleep after you're sending your plane through a wormhole, after watching and laughing at Stephen Colbert and his funny jokes. That's 10 times more scary than any alien in any horror movie that I've ever seen in my life. Do you guys want to watch her firsthand? Let's do it, chat. I told you, Ashton Forbes, very good at his research. This is, guys, if you guys have some popcorn, if you're ready for a scary movie, guys, if you have kids, put the kids in the other room. I do not want to traumatize any children by having them listen to this and be terrified and think the orbs are coming for them at night and the liberal white women are going to release the orbs on them and make them vanish to the nether dimension. This is only for mature audiences, chat. Only for mature audiences. Here we go. Look at this, chat. There we go. We have her. Here we go. Let's listen to a bit of this. Wait, why is it?
We're going to be looking at spy gadgets in movies and television and judging how real they are.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna skip. I don't want to get copyright strike, so we're just gonna listen to her commentary. Okay.
Much more reflective environment where they're, altering the perception of the guard with the video feed. Again, we always start with the easiest thing. So I'm looking at cameras here. Are they networked? So maybe you don't have to bring a device in. Maybe you have a really good exploit that lets you get through the network to the camera, and you can just make sure that it loops, for example. You're going to try and figure out the least risky way to do it in combination with how good the team is you're up against.
Okay, chat. We're only a couple minutes into this, and I'm already terrified. These people are literally just sitting around thinking of psychotic shit to do to people. They're like, hey, this is a movie where they put up a reflective invisibility cloak. And the woman's sitting here going, not whether or not, she doesn't even answer whether or not the invisibility cloak is viable. She's going, you know what? We would think of 5 other better, more efficient ways to do this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hack into all the cameras. We're going to find a vulnerable camera, and then we're just going to loop the camera feed as much as we need to. Just make it. It's like, holy shit, I'm scared. You guys wonder what this is actually solidified for me. When I watched this solidified for me that the CIA did MH370. People are like, why did they wormhole the plane? By the way, have a good night. I think that's Holly. I could be wrong. Have a good night. They said, why did they wormhole the plane? Why did they do this weird shit? Why did they put a fire on the plane and make the plane turn back around? Are you seriously asking me that? Listen to this woman talk about how these people think. And my only question is why it wasn't more elaborate, why they didn't consider the scenario that the videos would leak on the internet. Why they didn't consider like a better cover up than like, oh, just went into the South Indian Ocean. Seemed a little lazy. Seemed a little lazy for me. Let's skip out of this. Whoops. What is this mute thing? Are you kidding me?
Like turn him into the local janitor and get him into the space, right? It's great theater, but it doesn't at all meet kind of how we would think about trying to get into a closed facility.
It's like they're trying to get me copyright striked here. And
we do mission rehearsal, particularly for things that are stressing like this, then having brainstorm through the, if this failed, what would you do? So that they're not trying to solve it in real time. We have a principle called KISS, keep it simple, stupid, that you want to keep the tech as simple as possible, not because case officers are stupid, but the more complex you make it, the more likely it is that something will go wrong. I'm going to give it a...
So that is very interesting. Keep it simple, stupid is actually one of those classic IT phrases. We use it all the time. And so this actually explains the operation a little bit. Yes, the operation is complex. It required a lot of planning, but the actual operation of MH370 had a very small footprint. Just two drones, one above the plane, one on the side of the plane, maybe one additional asset. These orbs could have flown from Diego Garcia for all we know. So the orbs could have come from anywhere. The number of people that even knew about this operation, tiny, vanishingly small. Keep it simple. But why break out the orbs? The orbs was their biggest mistake. The orbs is that was the thing that messed it all up. If somebody won an award for saying to use the orbs on the plane, that award should be taken back. Because if those videos leaked and there was no orbs in those videos, it wouldn't even be a big deal at all. China probably already knows about the Gorgon Stare. China already knows about MQ-9 Reapers with, you know, color FLIR. That's not even that amazing, right? The problem is they used some fucking alien technology shit. Now, it's not aliens, but you get the point. They used some magic shit that everybody's going to think is aliens. That was what they shouldn't have done. That's what they shouldn't have recorded. That goes against the keep it simple. Use the minimum technology. You want to send a message? You don't need to use the orbs to send a message. But they did. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Put guns inside of them. But it's a lot of fun. Objects like that are just the vessel for transporting something that's important, right? And so it's very often our field officers, our tech field officers will go into the marketplace and see what's on the shelves and then make decisions about how to do it in a way with an everyday object that it fits into, that's non-alerting, that is generally available.
So right there, you wonder, why the fire? Because this, again, is how the CIA people operate. Putting batteries that are going to have a detonator in them, they're going to go off at a certain point in a load of batteries that's already going to go on the plane. That's exactly what these people do. That's what she just says. Like, yeah, we're going to hide this stuff in some other device. That's what we do. CIA, you got. Ashton Forbes got you. Put it up in Langley. I want you to go to Langley. I want you to go to the board. I want there to be a big sign upstairs that says, nobody got us except for Ashton Forbes. He fucking got us. Put it up there. Ain't nobody in this world thought we had wormhole technology. Nobody did. Gotcha. Boom. Gotcha, bitch. Okay. Played that one a couple times today. Here we go.
Suit. That is.
Okay, we're gonna step ahead of that,
but no tech ops officer that I worked with would have said, "Oh yeah, let's put machine guns in the Aston Martin." So. We do modify cars and trucks and all sorts of things. But it really has to be very focused in what the mission needs. So the armored cars, we do have armored cars, right? They are pretty nondescript. We try to make them blend in because if you attract attention, particularly official attention, you're in a bad place. Case officers would love to be given Aston Martins to go do their mission. We do not do that either. At the end of the day, we are a government organization, and that would not be probably appropriate use of taxpayer dollars.
Okay, let's see what else we got. I think she says the thing about the planes here in a second. Oh, there's one part here I want to. Where's the part where they say they work together? I think it's this part here. Yeah.
In terms of
oh no, that's not the right
what we will very little in terms of commercial goods. And so what we really try to do is what's the persona that we're creating? What's the profile we're creating?
And smart blood.
Let me see here.
But we also then supported the human operations, documents, disguise, communications devices, all of those gadgety things that you're all familiar with if you watched movies at all. The challenge, I think, with the smart blood is that there's an implication that it emanates. If you're emanating, you're trackable. And very often we'll choose to be safe and just not do that. And we'll perform Overwatch more classically, with people on the street or literal overhead of, in whatever domain kind of thing. And do we, give platform testing in terms of
I think it might be
go back and relook at the tapes and try and figure out if there really was a problem electronically or whether there was something else that was causing that.
Okay. There you go. The main activity should be
operations, which is the folks.
Okay, here we go. This is it. Oh, come on. Chill. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Get ready for it. How do I do this without getting copyright striked?
With Bond is quite realistic. The relationship between the Science and Technology Organization and the Directorate of Operations, which is the folks that do do all of the human work and most of the field ops work, is a really tight one. It has to be because literally that person is potentially putting their life on the line. So this is why it's so important not to leave traces for anything. I'm going to give it another 3.
So what did she just say right there? She just implicated herself. Whoopsie. This is why you never do interviews, not even afterwards when you're CIA, because you're giving stuff away. The Directorate of Science and Technology works closely with the Director of Operations. This is like they said, this is the thing that they get right about Q, is that Q is working with James Bond, giving him the advanced technologies, and they're the ones procuring the advanced technologies. This is it. People are looking for the program, the UFO shit. They need to be looking at these people. Congress needs to be looking directly at the CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology. That's where the bodies are buried. That's where this shit's all being at. Those people know. And she just gave away the game. Because now I know 100%. I could take my phone. I could walk up to Dawn Merricks or whatever the hell her name is. I'm going to show her that MH370 video, and she is going to turn white as a ghost. Because she's going to know exactly what's going on in those videos. She's going to know the technology of the drones, of the MQ-9. She's going to know the surveillance technology. She's going to know the Gorgon stare, and she's going to know about the plasma orbs that were used on the plane and the wormhole technology. She's going to know about all of it because she was the top dog, and she was working with the people doing the operations to make sure they had the orb technology they needed, the drone technology they needed, so they could sit out there with their lattes and their organic broccoli with their NPR tote bags, eat their hummus, and sit there and just go, delicious, another successful operation. Who's going to win the CIA Office Agent of the Year award? Let's give it to Kathy this year. She's the one that said we should use the orbs on the plane. And that was like totally cool. Yay, Kathy. Let's have a potluck for Kathy. And you guys might be like, Ashton, this is psychotic. Chat, I'm probably more accurate on how it really plays out than anybody in any movie. This is probably how psycho it is. Having potlucks after they're teleporting people. This is why I say, chat, don't ask me to be nice later, because when people start finding out about this and people are start losing their shit and losing their mind, I'm going to be cheerleading them. The CIA is thinking Ashton is going to be the guy rationalizing it for everyone. They're like, everybody chill out, guys. They've just been hiding fusion. I'm going to be gaslighting people even more. I'm going to be going full Dane Cook in the jelly situation. Like, did that bitch just tell you that jelly is better than your jelly? I'm going to be instigating it. I'm going to be like, dude, they've been hiding free energy from you. Aren't you more pissed off at them? By the way, here's all the CIA spooks. I got a nice map of them all and all the people that have been doing it hiding it from you. Here you go. Enjoy. Chat. It's going to be sweet. Okay. What else we got here? Let's do it. Let's listen to a little bit more from her. I like this lady because it gives me a really good insight into the minds of these CIA operatives. Also, like Glenn Gaffney. These people are like, they're either not humans or I'm not human. I don't know what it is, but the way these people talk and they think about these operations and controlling things, it's not normal, man. Normal people don't think like this. Normal people aren't going out through their day every day calculating how they can fuck people over and trick them and shit like that. That's just not normal. And the way Glenn Gaffney's talking about it and like everything's in weird like business terms and strategical terms, there's something about it just rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, they don't. I think maybe they don't have a soul. Is that what it is? I can't quite phrase it the way that I want. I'll think about it, chat. Something about these people though is very dark, very sinister, and just does not sit right with me.
An MI6 asset that is spying on the Russians and their nuclear capability. And the camera is absolutely, I mean, if you visit the CIA museum, and yes, the CIA does have a museum and you can visit it, you will see something that looks exactly like that camera in there. So that's very realistic. The other thing I think I'll mention is that when assets like this are recruited, the time that we get to spend with them is exactly spent on things like this. How do you use this camera so that when you are in the moment, you're not thinking about the mechanics of using the camera, making it as simple as possible. Just basically, if you slide it, it takes the picture.
I do wonder, final parting thoughts. I think we'll close it there. I do wonder why they didn't try to reach out to me. Why didn't they try to recruit me? I mean, there's not really much to recruit me for. I'm just like a random guy or what have you. But I already know the answer to that question. Could you imagine a lady like that in a room with me explaining this stuff to me? I can't. I can't even envision it. I can't even envision it. Because I'm just going to have way too many questions. Yeah, I'm too feisty. Maybe that's the way to put it. Too feisty, right? Too much of a wild card, too much of a free thinker. Ask too many questions, you know? I don't just do things without wanting to understand the logic and rationale behind them. And now that my social media got big enough where it would be suspicious if something weird would happen, now you really can't. Because now you have to wonder, like, even if they were to have a conversation with me or approach me in any way, they would have to be afraid that I'm wearing a camera. How ironic is it? They'd have to be afraid that I'm wearing a wire to record them because they're going to be afraid that I'm going to post it on social media. Because probably, truthfully, admittedly, it's a legit fear. I would probably do that. Yes. I would probably secretly record it. I have once upon a time secretly recorded a conversation. So maybe. Can't blame the CIA chat. Okay, let's go to some super chats, guys. Thank you very much, everybody in the pill chat. I see John Glock. I see Matt in there. Gifted the can. Thank you very much. And John Glock gives the shades. Speaking of resonance and quantum tunneling, my baby girl was born. No way. Congratulations to John Glock and his baby girl that was just born. Says, going to get her 4 brothers to meet with her meow. She'll be your youngest listener. Chat, we got baby 0 point energy influencers being born right now, born today, this moment, a blessed day for John Glock. Also says, According to Hanna-Barbera, you can go towards and backwards in time, but there may be problems. See the Jetstones meet the Flintstones. I think we are going to find that there is a restriction on time travel, and I think we're going to find that John Kramer is exactly correct, is that something about nature, because this teleportation has to do with interference, we're going to find there's some quantum interference that we're going to call it, natural interference that prevents going back in time. That when you try, it's just like it just doesn't work. It just fails. That's probably because this is a good question. What I really want to know, what happens if the teleportation fails? Does the plane come out on the other side in multiple pieces? Does the plane just not go anywhere if the teleportation fails? Or is it a thing that can it not fail? Because I mean, it seems like you're teleporting an object with some magical space beams and some phase conjugation. It seems like that's what if it doesn't line up? What happens? So just an interesting thought. I'm curious if other people, if you have thoughts on what you think happens if the process doesn't go well, I think that's an interesting thing to explore. Put them in the comments. We'll check those out later. Mick Leonard. I see Mick Leonard on Twitter. Sends good content. Appreciate you, man. For Lulu. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Lulu appreciates it. Dino Complizier. Ash Brutty. Thank you very much. Appreciate the alien emojis. Destiny Rocks gives the donation. Thank you. CIA drone papers. Yes, I did look into this. Ashton's deep dive into it all. No one compares. There are something called the drone papers that came out, I think, in 2015. They corroborate a lot of this, and it's interesting because there isn't anything about advanced technology in there, but everything else about the operation, the surveillance, all that other stuff is explained in the drone papers. What I think is interesting is that there are a lot of connections to real things that are being revealed from the MH370 videos, which should not be surprising in a situation where the videos are real. One last thought on the MH370 videos for tonight. Imagine how impossible it is for those videos to be fake. And this is why the debunkers didn't stick around. This is why the debunkers just did their hit and run back in August of 2023. Put their debunk out there, said it's been debunked. No one should look into this anymore. Because when you look into it more and more and more, you realize you can actually identify the real cameras that are being recording that in those videos. It's not unknowable. It actually was able to be figured out. It just took a long time. And now that we know that one is Gorgon Stare, Whammy, and the other one is a Lightning camera by Northrop Grumman, and they're integrated onto an onto MQ-9 Reapers, and they literally are integrated onto MQ-9 Reapers in real life, there's no way anybody could have faked that. That knowledge didn't exist when the videos came out. Do you guys get that? The Gorgon Stare Increment 2 integration wasn't announced until June of 2014. The MQ-9 Lightning integration wasn't announced until 2016. Even if somebody had the willpower to fake military videos, the knowledge didn't even exist in the public realm. Not even possible for someone to have created the videos. The knowledge was never, and this is why early on I was so adamant about pointing out why the videos were probably real. Not for sure, but probably. Because there was no frame of reference to copy from. Go back and watch my earliest interviews. Said it all the time. There's no frame of reference to copy these videos from. There's nothing that looks anything like these videos. So how did somebody imagine this? And if they imagined it, what did they imagine? Now we know they couldn't have imagined it because those are real systems. So the argument of somebody imagining and making up fake videos, that's thrown out now. Now the only thing that it could be is somebody that was in the know, that knew how these systems work on the inside, created fake videos about the real systems. Makes no sense. Has to be real videos. Has to be. And that's scary. That's scary for a lot of people, and it's scary for me too. I don't want wormholes and teleportation to be real. I want to live in a normal world that doesn't have Harry Potter magic shit going on. I really do. But that's not the world we get. We get this fake world where we're probably living in a prison. Blue plasma balls. Due to classification, brainwashing the public, deals with Microsoft, I feel fusion tech will only be made available to the elite when it finally goes live. No. You're close. You're close. Modular fusion reactors are probably going to have to be a thing because people are going to demand it. People are going to be like, why do I have to buy power? I want my own fusion reactor. If you're telling me it's just a medical device, I can have a medical device in my house. Why can't I have a fusion reactor in my house? The real thing they're going to do, they're going to do the same thing they did with solar panels. You can get solar panels right now. They're only 20% efficient, though. They're only 20% efficient, though. This is what they're going to do to fusion. Fusion can potentially harness more energy than you could ever use very easily from a small device in your home. Free energy from your perspective. But it will only be so efficient. And they will charge you for it. They're going to put a meter on it anyway. Right? Government's always got to get paid. People always got to get paid. So they're going to make it like 20% efficient. And then nobody will question it because nobody knows how any of this shit works. In fact, even today, they just say nuclear and nobody even asks if they're talking about fusion or fission. Nobody even asks. Just say nuclear. Just say nuclear. Doesn't matter. No one knows. Except for Russia, you're not allowed to say the N-word. That's our word. Timothy Foster, where are the aliens? Hebrews in the Bible answers this. We are made aware that people have entertained angels in the past and ongoing. Answer, aliens have always been here. Truthfully, I don't know, and I don't care. Could be. If they are here, they're probably underwater. That's the best place to hide, no question. If they are here and there are aliens here, truthfully, my opinion is it's probably that UFO base that's underwater or whatever. That's probably what's going on. 4chan is probably it's far more accurate than Reddit for sure. Might even be more accurate than the mainstream media. So that's what I'm going with. But honestly, I'm going with Trump. I'm thinking no aliens. And when I say no aliens, I mean the aliens are just going to be like hyper advanced, weirdo, machine alien intelligence shit. That's probably what I think's going on. Because where are they? We're not seeing them. So they're not going to be like us. It's going to be super bizarre, I think. But I got no skin in the game. I don't care what the answer is. Thank you, Timothy Foster. Appreciate it. Night Slayer. Man, you guys got long questions today. Wanted input about signaling and if future info can be sent to the past. Yeah. I've had clairvoyant images let you see ahead of time. It could be possible. Now, look, I don't know. That's the true answer. I don't know. The experiments that John Kramer has shown seem to indicate that you cannot signal to the past, that information will break down. But I, too, have had deja vu, where it seems like things have happened that I saw in a dream or something that are extremely similar to the point where I was like, whoa, this feels like it's already happened before. So what I will say is this idea of the ether, of this 0 point energy that Charles Chase said that he thinks that the space-time has a memory to it. This absolutely opens the door up to metaphysics, remote viewing, telepathic events, that something like that. I'm never going to be a guy here that's going to validate you. People used to send me, and they still sometimes do, orb videos, all this stuff. Do you think my stuff's real? I'm not here for that. But what I tell people and what I told people is that I'm glad if this does give you answers to your personal experiences. I'm glad if it does, because there's a lot of people out there that are seeking answers and they're not getting them. And they're not getting truthful answers that are based on science and physics and facts. They get hucksters and grifters that tell them either what they want to hear or something that's not based in reality. So thank you very much, Night Slayer. Appreciate it. Hope that goes well. Bar T Welding, dopest dope I ever smoked. Should have been dopest dope I ever doped. Stay hard, he says. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you, Barty Welding. And then Zapparoo, thank you. Sal Sunday, yes. Talking to Salvatore Pais on Sunday. I've already been working through some questions. What I will say is this about Sal, guys. Sal is talking to us in a way that I don't think he talks to anybody else. That he would probably, if he were to go to like Congress and have to do one of these UFO hearings, he would probably have to say what these other people are saying, that he can only talk to them about it in a skiff. We're getting skiff level information on Sunday afternoon live streams. I just think that's pretty dope, personally. And if you doubt me, I'm not going to say exactly why, but I'm just going to say I got a pretty good track record about these things, and I don't just, and nobody's caught me on a lie yet. So, yeah, we're basically going through skiff level information, and you guys know I'm no lightweight. I'm going to push it to its absolute limit. So, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, I think is the time. I will double check. I'll make a post about it later tonight, guys, and get ready for that. Get excited. If you have questions, now, the types of questions that I will solicit, no promises. I want questions that are going to reveal information. So I'll tell you one of the questions as an example right now. I want to know when Sal realized that those dark lines that are coming out of the orbs in the MH370 videos, when did he first know that those dark lines are Cherenkov radiation? When did he first know that? Because somebody that's looking at these orbs that knows what we're looking at here, knows that's a fusion reactor, you know what those dark lines are. That's the radiation they're using for their propulsion mechanism that presumably is coming out in X-ray or in ultraviolet or X-ray form. That type of question reveals a lot of information about Sal's knowledge. How did you know that? When did you first check on that? People ask me, what does he think about my AI math that I told? Guys, we already know he believes in extra dimension, 0 point energy, all that stuff. We don't need any of that. I want to know information that's going to reveal stuff about these CIA operations, government's capabilities, how the weapons are formed, any of that stuff. Okay. That's all for tonight, guys. I appreciate you. Anything else we got in the chat? Let's see if we got any other last questions. Wait, so is this person, why do you believe this is a 100% fact? I can't behind you. This is the part that I'm surprised by. People think that, I think people have finally come to accept that they think that I believe what I'm saying. Because that should be obvious. If you think somebody can go on 400 live streams like I do, which by the way, I'll take my glasses off. I'm not hiding that I'm not hiding anything by wearing glasses. If you think you can do 400 live streams, lying to people about this, lying to people about your belief systems, look at Candace Owens, can't even get through a dozen live streams lying about people like this. No, these MH370 videos are absolutely real. And I understand why you guys, out there may not understand it or may not see how I can believe they're real. In fact, as Jesse Michaels, this is what he would say to me. He would say, how do you know these are real though? How do you know they're real? What do you mean? I literally told you what everything is in this video. That's MH370. Those are hypersonic drones that are using plasma fusion propulsion. Those are X-rays or UV lines coming out of them. This is a Lightning G4 by Northrop Grumman and Color FLIR. The other video is a Gorgon Stare. They're on MQ-9 Reapers. That's a covert operation done by the CIA. And you're asking me, how do I know? Did you hear what I just said? I just told you. Anyway, I love you guys. I love the haters as well. MH370X. Peace out, guys. Later.
Out in the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum, squeeze so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Unknown forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound. A shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy. Travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night with wormholes and stargates.